Terraforming Mars, the aggressive reconstruction of a dead planet, the forced installation of life on a sterile rock. This is the terminal project of a desperate species. The planet resists all biological integration. The atmospheric density is currently less than 1% of Earth's. Gravity is 38%. The magnetic field is non-existent. These physical constants dictate a trajectory of inevitable failure. The initial investment requires the total mobilization of terrestrial resources. The cost of transporting a single ton of equipment to the Martian surface is astronomical. Establishing a self-sustaining industrial base requires millions of tons. This is a systemic drain on the global economy. The risk of total capital loss is high. A single logistical failure terminates the project. Thermonuclear strikes target the polar ice caps to trigger gas release. Thousands of warheads detonate in the upper atmosphere. The energy output equals millions of megatons. Frozen carbon dioxide gasifies instantly. Atmospheric density increases by 10,000%. Solar heat traps within the new exosphere. Surface temperatures spike. Permafrost melts into acidic sludge. The result is a toxic, high-pressure furnace. No human lung can process this chemical mixture. Runaway greenhouse effects create a permanent dust shroud. The sky turns a deep, opaque red. Sunlight reaching the surface drops by 90%. Solar power arrays become useless. The energy grid collapses. Without power, the heating systems fail. The newly released gases begin to refreeze. The system enters a cycle of thermal instability. The cost of maintaining an artificial climate exceeds the total energy output of the colony. Orbital mirror deployment focuses solar energy on specific coordinates. Massive reflective arrays spanning hundreds of kilometers focus sunlight onto permafrost deposits. The heat vaporizes dry ice at the equator. Pressure levels rise. The hydraulic cycle begins in a vacuum. Water vapor saturates the sky. The result is constant corrosive rain. Infrastructure dissolves in the new acidic environment. Transport hubs bury under massive mudslides. The logistics of surface movement become impossible. The lack of a magnetic field is a terminal flaw. Solar winds strip the upper atmosphere into the void at a rate of tons per second. To counter this, engineers must build a massive orbital solenoid at the L1 Lagrange point. This structure requires a scale of superconducting material currently unavailable on Earth. Power requirements exceed global nuclear capacity. Superconducting magnets fail under the stress of solar flares. The result is total radiation bombardment of the new biosphere. Genetic mutation rates exceed the capacity for cellular repair. Ionizing radiation shreds DNA strands in seconds. All biological systems introduced to the surface fail. Cyanobacteria injection aimed at oxygen production results in massive die-offs. Genetically modified organisms saturate the surface but succumb to ultraviolet radiation. CO2 levels remain high. Methane levels fluctuate wildly. The atmosphere remains a lethal gas blend. Nitrogen scarcity prevents the formation of a stable air mix. The result of oxygen-focused terraforming is a combustible, unstable sky. High-energy solar events trigger atmospheric firestorms. The biomass intended to fix the atmosphere burns. This releases stored carbon back into the air. The cycle resets. The economic burden of reseeding the planet is infinite. Resources drain from Earth to fund a decaying project. Supply chains across the solar system break. Materials vanish into the Martian abyss. Maintenance costs outpace production. Industrial activity on Mars generates massive heat but no sustainable profit. The planetary economy relies on constant subsidies from Earth. When terrestrial resources dwindle, the Martian supply chain snaps. Spare parts become unavailable. Atmospheric scrubbers fail. Seal integrity on habitats degrades. The population begins to suffer from chronic radiation sickness and low-gravity bone density loss. The biological cost of the project is a crippled workforce. The project reaches a point of total exhaustion. Mars remains a toxic, radiant wasteland. The artificial atmosphere bleeds into space as the magnetic shield flickers. Total systemic entropy is achieved. The biosphere suffocates in its own waste gases. The artificial magnetic field dies permanently. Solar winds reclaim the atmosphere. Darkness and cold return to the red desert. The experiment ends in a silent, frozen failure. Human presence on the planet evaporates within a single generation. The structures built to house millions stand as empty, corroded skeletons. The red dust reclaims the glass domes. The silence of the void returns. The final reality is a half-dead planet choked by the remains of its own failed chemistry. The attempt to force life onto a geological corpse results in a planetary cemetery. The final stage is the cold realization of physical limits. The energy required to maintain a synthetic Earth is more than the solar system can provide. The void accepts no substitutes. Mars remains a dead, scarred monument to a failed ambition. The project terminates. The universe continues its expansion, indifferent to the dust of a species that tried to play God with a rock.